So yesterday was an ugly day in D.C. And if there was ever a Beauty and the Beast moment in the halls of Congress, Pam Bondi's confirmation hearing was it. Bondi, hold on, stop it. Bondi, Donald Trump's nominee for AG, found herself facing the swamp's resident bug-eyed monster. Have a look if you dare.
Are you aware of any factual basis to investigate Liz Cheney? Yes or no?
Senator, that's a hypothetical, and I'm not going to answer that. I'm also worried about Liz Cheney, Senator.
The president has
You know what
called
we
for
should
this.
be worried about?
Ms. Bondi, please answer my questions.
California right now
You are
is
aware.
through the roof. Senator, what I can tell you is I will never play politics. You're trying to engage me in a gotcha. I won't do it.
I'm just asking you a simple question.
Won't play
if you can speak truth
with any ongoing
to power.
investigation,
So let me ask you another.
like you did leaking your colleague Devin Nunes's memo.
If
I'm not going to
cases of the first
mislead
day?
this body nor you. You were censured by Congress, Senator, for comments just like this that are so reckless.
Well, that was useful. But Adam's got a face only a mother could love. Norman Bates's mother. Because not only is this guy a lying bozo, he's also weird looking. But aren't they all? The Dems are the homeliest bunch since Kiss decided to take off their makeup. Now consider the people they attack. When you look at Bondi, Hegseth, Kristi Noem, RFK, Michael Kratzios, Scott Turner, even John Radcliffe, 3 words come to mind: va, va, voom. Kelly Loeffler is a walking advertisement for herbal essence. Sean Duffy, you don't have 9 kids by being a 4. And it wasn't climate change that was making Chris Wright's protesters hot, no siree. And when you hear women yelling Marco at the pool, it's not polo they're after. Tulsi hasn't even shown up yet, am I right? Woo! Then there's Doug Burgum, whose brooding sexiness is bringing Count Chocula back to the supermarkets. And what of Stephen Miller, huh? I know. How is he hot? Well, check out his wife. Huh? See, he benefits from secondhand hotness. He just went from a 3 to a 6. By comparison, the Dems seem like a parade of slovenly before pictures. I mean, even the guy grilling Hegseth about drinking, he looked like, look at him. I mean, he looks like he just got into a boozy fight with a leaf blower. But if you hung out with Bill Clinton for 30 years, you'd look like that too. So why the difference? Well, the mind and body are one thing. How many of us feel crappy mentally when we treat our bodies poorly? When we don't work out, or we eat bad food, or we take a pill handed to you by Larry Kudlow outside a Tijuana brothel? And conversely, how many of us feel physically sick when we treat our minds badly, filling it with defeatist beliefs, victim mentality, or one of Jesse's books? You cannot embrace victimhood and still look hot. I mean, imagine me whining with this jawline. But if your soul is rotten, your teeth will follow. Truth is, conservatives think there are things worth protecting, and that starts with taking care of how they look and feel. But leftism is about denigrating standards so that we're all one big blob of steaming hippo. And so we get plus-size cover girls, prom queens with beards, and paintings that look like my bathroom wall the last time I ate Taco Bell. In fact, ugly is rewarded by Democrats who view sex appeal as hot privilege. Take San Diego State University, where students are told that fat phobia is rooted in racism, misogyny, homophobia, and other oppression, and calls on students to champion fat bodies. Yeah, right, because it's the bigots who are forcing the oppressed to deep-throat a ding-dong. Is that possible? The Post urges students to read books by fat liberationists. And what are those books? For Whom the Dinner Bell Tolls? The Great Fatsby? The Count of Monte Cristo? The Lord of the Onion Rings? You know, I'll wait for the movie. There's probably a love scene at Golden Corral. So listen, San Diego, if you're fat and queer, or fat whatever, you'll feel a hell of a lot better if you work on what God gave you, a body, which includes your mind. Hell, have even more pride parades, but walk it this time instead of being the float. And I get it. It's harder to be fit, so labeling anyone a bigot means you don't have to work out. Hell, it worked for this sack of donuts. But it's not about weight. It's the victim mindset. You lose that and the pounds come off. That's a message those San Diego students never hear. Instead, the left limits your aspirations by putting you in the boxes of race, gender, and sexual orientation. It's why your once cute niece came home at Christmas break with a shaved head and hairy pits. Her fresh-faced beauty had to be ruined for it's a reminder of patriarchal aspirations. So I'm not saying all Democrats are unattractive. Some of their women are attractive, even the ones with d. But the truth is, being ugly inside can make you ugly outside. And when you compare the parties, just no contest. Kristi Noem compared to Alejandro Mayorkas. I mean, let's just say shooting a dog in the head wouldn't be a deal breaker. And I have to repeat two words, Pete Hegseth. He's like Brad Pitt with more kids. Now, who in D.C. is gonna look better than that guy? Obviously no one, since I called off my Senate run. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She used to be an attorney, now she puts liberals on a gurney, goes about Emily Cavagno. He's so funny, the audience forgets to laugh. Comedian Dave Landau. She can't wait to deliver her baby so she can go back to eating mercury. New York Times bestselling author, Fox News contributor, Cat 2. And he describes the Grand Canyon as the OK Canyon. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion Tyrus. Emily, are you a Republican because you're beautiful, or are you beautiful because you're Republican? Like, I could never see you as a leftist. You're too hot to be a leftist.
I'm waiting for you to make a terrible comment about me after that, because you never say something like that. You're never.
I was going to bring up the fact that you're not wearing pants, but the audience can see that.
That
so.
Linden Subway. I loved what you said about the whole point is that, you know, when you are corroded on the inside, then it shows up on the outside. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think truly there are a few ugly people I've seen in my life, and it was because of the inside. And it is shocking to me how that party writ large has the horrors of our present day written all over those outside packages. By the way, San Diego State.
Yeah.
When I was 16 years old, I forged my birth certificate at a local Kinko's and hopped along with I won't name it, a certain fraternity there at San Diego State, and we all crossed the border down to Mexico, where we spent a spring break there in Mexico partying like it was 1999, which was a couple years before that, and it was literally the best, most amazing party ever. Thank you, Mexico. Thank you, San Diego State. Thank you, that fraternity. And the point is how quickly it changes, how quickly the infection and the victim mindset and the tumor that is that narrative rotted the brains there, and now I don't recognize San Diego State. Yeah. That's what your college year should be for, right? What education, like true education, and now it's unrecognizable, like that whole party, because that they are vessels of tar.
You know, that's what college should be. Partying right? With a 16-year-old Emily Cavagno in Mexico.
That's right.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
It
what
was
could
awesome.
Go wrong? I didn't know she was 16. Dave, you seem like the picture of health.
Yes, that's right. Let's talk about eating healthy and not being dead inside.
Comedians, they can't, it's like, it goes against brand to be fit, except you're seeing it with the Rogan contingent, all these guys lifting weights. I don't like comedians, though, to be muscular.
No, I like them to look just like this.
Yes.
Short and obese, as my doctor calls it.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, you're pre-diabetic. It's like, so I'm not.
You should say it like you're pre-approved.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you're going well. I feel like I look better than half of the other side, though. Yeah. When you look at the left, like Adam Schiff, I mean, Trump took a bullet for this country. Schiff looks like he's always sitting on a vibrating one. Too much?
No, not enough.
Okay. Well, and Kane looks like a mad scientist that moonlights in a Neil Diamond cover band.
Yes.
It's just a creep.
Yeah. No, there's something wrong with him, and I don't know what it is.
It's something.
And Rob Wyden, I mean, some of these,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with them, so I don't want to make fun of them. I'll just do that in the break. Kat, I know this is an incredibly shallow segment, but I embrace shallowness. And let's be honest, we've talked about this. We are bigoted against certain types of people, aren't we, Kat?
Yeah, except now I'm super fat and I'm still hot.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to compliment you here. In the 1970s, well before the internet, you could buy Hot and Pregnant magazine, right? It was always behind the counter at 7-Eleven.
Don't I know it?
Is that real?
Well, you would be on the cover, Hot and Pregnant.
I would hope her career choices would say no.
I don't know. It honestly, I mean, okay, the idea that there's no hot liberal, I mean, the Hollywood is full of hot liberal people. Mm-hmm. Also, to me, I often think ugly people are hot because they're more interesting to look at. Mm-hmm. Like if you got like some up teeth or something, that's hot to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it took me a while actually to be attracted to my husband just because his teeth are too nice.
I remember you
I'm like, not one missing?
You were trying to get him to do meth.
I was like, I was hiding his toothbrush for years. No, I mean, it's true because I think hot is subjective. And my friends are always like, Kat, you just don't know how to tell if people are hot or not. And they may have a point. Mm-hmm. But I think also, I mean, obviously people a lot of times are they're miserable and they take it out on other people. And if you're ugly, sometimes you're more miserable. You just have to realize you're not ugly. You just haven't found the right weirdo yet.
That is true.
Because if you have confidence, it's hot.
Yeah, everybody, if you could find somebody who doesn't care what they look like, but, takes care of themselves. Yes. Mm-hmm. That is the key, Tyrus. Tyrus, you've always been interested in fitness. Isn't it about, you can see somebody who's got a system for fitness and assume from that they probably have a system for other things?
Well, it depends. If they're obsessed, then all they worry about is fitness. And then when you talk to them, you say they need to get back to the gym because that's the only place you got to have balance. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to go both ways. And one of the things that we saw from Shift was balance because he was trying to find a way to ask, are you going to investigate me?
Yeah.
Like that's all that was about. I'd like to ask a couple questions. So you're just going to have a blanket pardon for everybody that we went after, but like, are you going to go after Cheney? And if she said yeah, then the next question would have been like, but I just wrote it. I didn't, because you remember he writes movie scripts. Yeah. And it's not, and they had a movie director do the 6, and now we're finding about all these little FBI agents that were running around. So Shift was trying to ask questions that every criminal, it's like your wife knows what you did. Mm-hmm. You can't come out and say, honey, that underwear is mine. You have to say, did you find anything unusual this week, dear? She's like, yes, zucchini was up 6 cents in the market. Okay, that's great. No, was there anything in the house particularly off? Yeah, the light was off in the other room. Are you sure there's nothing? Because he doesn't want to admit what he knows is coming. He was trying to get her in a situation where he could say, see, she's coming after us. She's waiting, because she kept saying a very interesting thing. She says, I have staff, so we'll go through 100 cases, and we'll look at the ongoing investigation. And that's what made Schiff very unhappy, because his ass is all caught up in the ongoing investigation.
And might I add, a flat ass. Yeah.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.